아이고, 오늘은 게임을 못할 줄 알았는데 눈 때문에 회식이 일찍 끝나서 네, 게임할 시간이 나네요. 얘는 안타깝게도 게임 패드 지원이 안 돼. 그리고 저번에 했던 그 셜록 홈즈와 악마의 딸, 그게 거기 나오는 케이트라는 꼬맹이가 전작을 보고 해야지 더 이제 이해가 된다고 하더라고요. 얘인가? 소리 너무 작게 했다. 아닌데 얘는 금발이네. 두 명이구나.
Ow!
아,
What's this? No. Baba. Boop, boop. La la la.
불길해.
Ooh.
셜록 홈즈랑 왓슨 인형
Oh,
같은데?
look! It's a book! Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map. No, I don't think so. I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle. And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898 when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
셜록 홈즈 모델링이 바뀌었네.
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
You see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
A matter of course? In the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants. They dress quickly and come running, but the door is locked and there is a strong smell of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham,
설명 중이네.
arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
부러진 장식장을 바라본 상태에서
This window
클릭하세요.
was cut with a diamond, a clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
조사를 마치면 그치 초록색으로 바뀌는 거는 그 악마의 딸에서도 이렇게 됐었지. 창가로 이동시키세요. 단서 아이콘 2개를 동시에 볼 수 있을 겁니다.
A mark undoubtedly made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
그랬니?
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
불도으로 가면 돋보기 위에 손바닥 아이콘이 있는 것을 확인할 수 있습니다. 클릭해서 손에 넣으세요. 마우스 오른쪽 버튼을 누르면 인벤토리 뭔데? 이거 어떻게 바꿔? 아. 여기요? 시점 계속 바꾸는 거구나. 아무튼 피아노 근처 바닥에 악보들이 펴져 있습니다. 돋보기로 피아노 근처의 악보를 살펴보세요.
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
어디를 봐야 하나?
Nothing of interest here. These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
R를 누르면 1인칭. 시프트야. 나 시프트 되게 싫어하는데. 한 번만 눌러놓으면 알아서 활성화가 되나? 모르겠다. 아무튼 스페이스를 누르면 육감.
Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface. All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
뛰어다니니까 너무 자세가 웃긴데.
A candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier. These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself. This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the
저
thief
이거
hid
있다고요.
himself
뒤에서
behind the
숨을 수
draft
있어?
screen and waited until he was alone in the room.
개어이 없당.
Strange. There aren't any prints. Yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants.
What do you think, Holmes?
Let us search the room before the police get here. We might throw some light onto all this.
Footprints. You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire. Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once?
Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
The fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, you're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry, always in the nick of time. Ah, but I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
The only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I am pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well then, explain.
Dr. Watson was correct when he mentioned acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
I don't know. Because he is very small? Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small and remarkably agile.
You're thinking of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt, a Leontopithecus rosalia from Central America. The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained. The monkey emerged. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle. Finally, the servants and the Marquis entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes.
And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson. A poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium where they remain now.
뭐야? 황당하네.
Marquis, here is your necklace, intact. Just
요거
wet.
조사만 했을 뿐인데
Mr.
갑자기
Holmes,
도전 과제를
this
주네요.
brilliant
초보 탐정.
demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I recognize it. I have spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box and...
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
There, the necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
아니 영상 왜 이렇게 많어? 영상을 보려고 게임을 켠 게 아닌데스.
This morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
드디어. 고구마는 조금만 식혔다가 냉동실에 넣어놓으면 될 것 같아요.
Read the paper, Holmes.
뭘 읽으라는 거야? 엉터리 추리를 늘어놓다. 어제 저명한 그래 무슨 원숭이 가지고 그 사기꾼처럼 그런 추리를 해. 값비싼 사모아산 목걸이 도난 사건의 수사 결과를 알리기 위해 부착자택으로 초대되었다. 도둑이 버려놓은 믿기 힘든 상황 탓에 경찰들은 낭패를 보았다고 전해진다. 기자들은 그 후에 홈즈가 한 여성의 의뢰를 받아 저택을 찾아왔다는 사실을 상기해야 할 것이다. 실제로 값비싼 보석이 전시되어 있던 방문이 잠겨있는 동안 목걸이가 사라졌다고 한다. 방 안에 호출기가 밤새 울렸고 하인들 중 한 명이 경보를 울렸다. 유일하게 열쇠를 가지고 있던 후작이 문을 열자 방 안에는 불길이 번지고 있었다. 불을 끄기 위해 모두가 달려들었다. 그것이 목걸이가 수수께끼처럼 사라졌다는 것을 깨닫기까지 전말이다. 방 안에선 도둑을 찾을 수가 없었다. 평상시처럼 홈즈는 눈 깜짝할 새 사건을 해결했고 목걸이는 제자리로 돌아오는 듯했다. 셜록 홈즈가 목걸이를 금고 안에 넣어두고 저택을 떠난 시점에서 후작은 목걸이가 진품이 아닌 싸구려 모조품에 불과하다는 사실을 깨달았다. 희귀한 진주를 사용했기 때문에 비쌌던 건데 어쩌고 목걸이와 모조품을 바꿔치기 한 게 홈즈가 아니었을까. 영국 왕실을 모독하는 데다 추잡한 욕망을 가지고 있는 프랑스인이자 기막히게 운이 좋아 홈즈에게서 벗어난 아르센 위팽, 그의 도주에 관해 남겼던 수사에 대한 의혹을 잊지 말기를 바란다. 홈즈가 친분이 있는 자라면 그게 법의 수호자라기보다는 기회주의자면서 권력에 욕심이 많은 성격이라는 것을 쉽게 알 수 있을 것이다. 실제로 홈즈의 행동은 사람을 조롱하고 업신여기는 데다가 거만하면서 경찰에게는 공격적인 경향을 보인다. 이 사건에서 홈즈가 비도덕적인 욕망을 품었던 게 아닐까? 이놈 뭐하는 놈이야?
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines, the door's open.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that rag?
목걸이?
Inspector, I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes, before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
And the Marchioness?
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
What a lovely marriage. Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewelry?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector?
Be my guest.
Very well.
What do you think, Holmes?
어디서 보는지 목걸이. 아,
What do you think?
What do you think, Holmes?
아, 나 선택하기 힘드네, 씨.
This pearl is a different color. These 3 pearls are of poor quality. This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes.
고구마 좀 정리해서 냉동실에 넣어놓고 오겠습니다. 아까 지도를 뭐라 그랬나? 후속작 하고 나서 전작을 하러 오니까 너무 조작법이나 뭐 이런 게 너무 불편하다.
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes. Yes, of course. But come in.
What has happened, Reverend?
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God, how horrible. I haven't heard of
뭐가
anyone
벌어진
who
거야?
didn't
나도
know that.
보여줘.
Holmes, look!
와우.
Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
How
주교님.
dreadful.
Mutilated
와, 씨,
and
이거 뭐야?
killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We are here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave. And not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities
바로
without further delay.
폭탄하네.
Reverend, when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Out of the question! I don't even know you! I'm going to call the police, whether you like it or not.
It would be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one, therefore we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for... The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen, and indeed, it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson. Do continue. This stove is filled to overflowing.
Oh, shit.
The fingers have been crushed and violently struck. The fingers have been crushed and violently struck.
His stomach is covered in scratches. Quite evidently, they weren't made recently.
So, these wounds were not made by his murderers. His forearms have been ripped, pieces of skin have been torn off. What do you think, Watson?
I'd say that he was eaten alive. Yet I've noticed a curious degeneration of the skin tissue around the wounds.
A piece of rope that was used to tie up that poor man.
아직도 조사할 게 남았어? 없어. 어디를 봐야 될까? 다 조사했나? 그런데 이쪽은 조사 다. 오, 쉣.
His feet have been burned.
My first impression is that he wears a size 9 shoe.
You? But what does it matter, Holmes?
A finger
Holy
that
shit.
doesn't belong to the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
How dreadful.
These burns are terrible.
This poor man was tied just below the knees.
To stop him from walking, certainly, but mostly to free his feet.
My God, Holmes, this man was horribly tortured.
이제 상체를 조사해 볼까요?
You can see by his expression that he suffered terribly.
His mouth is covered in blood, and I can make out strips of skin between his teeth. My dear friend, everything points to this man having gnawed at his own forearms.
That's unbelievable, Holmes. His chest has been lacerated, I would say, with a very sharp and fine blade.
Something is missing here.
Oh, yes? And what might that be?
His shoes. Watson, his shoes are missing. A bottle of whiskey. I can make out fingerprints stained with blood and dirt.
A broken bottle of whiskey. However, the Bishop of Knightsbridge was known for his sobriety. It would seem that the brutes who tortured the bishop to death were intoxicated with alcohol.
There is blood on this paperweight. This paperweight was used to crush the victim's fingers. A broken file and blood near the neck.
What a strange smell. Phew. Chemical components, I think.
왼쪽은 또 없지?
Impossible to open it.
아이고.
I need something. Reverend, I'm missing something, an implement with which to open this chest. Could you tell me where to find it?
No, go to the devil.
What are you afraid of, Reverend? What is inside the chest?
I'm not
이상해
afraid of
이거.
anything. In fact, I do have the necessary implements, but if I have to give them to anyone, it will be to a representative of the
뭐
law
그건
and no
맞지.
one else.
일단 조사나 마저 하라고. 얘도 뭐 잠겨 있겠지. 아니네.
This metal rod is for fastening the chilies. It's a cilice designed to bruise the person wearing it. The bishop wore it as repentance.
A whip?
No, it is a discipline for self-flagellation. This very pious man must have had the habit of mortifying his flesh as a means of repentance. The picture of Peregrine Maitland, commander of the infantry brigade of Her Majesty's Guards at Waterloo.
The Bishop of Knightsbridge has the same name as his ancestor, an illustrious family.
I cannot leave now. Watch where you're putting your feet, Watson. Have you noticed these prints upon the ground?
Well, yes, those muddy marks.
See here, Watson. Footprints can often provide more vital information than the very best of informants.
Yes, if you know how to make them talk, that is.
It's child's play, Watson. We will begin by excluding the contaminating prints, which are yours and mine from where we came in, and those of our dear Reverend who was so impatient to call the police. I need something. Size 9.5. Size 9. Size 9.5. Size 9. Size 9. Size 9. A fragment of stone. Peculiar. This print came from an expensive pair of shoes, and it seems recent. It is not a laborer's shoe. Hobnail boots like those worn by laborers. Hobnail boots like those... Hobnail... well-worn shoes with an odd pattern on the soles.
들어왔다가 나간 거는 하나밖에 없는 것 같은데?
Size 9. Size.
어?
Size 9.5. Size 9.
요거 두 개가 세트고, 요거 두 개가 세트고,
Size 9. Size.
네 명이라는 건가?
That's not right. Start again. I need something. This print came from an expensive pair of shoes, and it seems recent. It is not a laborer's shoe. Perfect.
어떻게 세 명이지? 아, 왼쪽, 오른쪽 짝짝이 신발을 신는 거구나. 그런가?
Strange but true. One of the crooks was wearing a different pair of shoes when he left here. Therefore, we have 3 men who came in and left again, but one of them was wearing a different pair of shoes from the ones which he came in with.
So, all we have to do is look for a workman who likes Italian shoes.
You have no right to search here.
죄송.
What should we do next, Holmes?
조합해가지고 새로운 단서 나오는 건 여기서도 나오는구나. 오. 고행이는 익숙했는데 잔혹하게 고문을 당해서 이렇게 고문당해서 일어설 수 없을 정도로 고문을 당한 거지. 원하는 것을 얻지 못해서 이 정도인가? 도전과제 목록 여기서도 볼 수 있네. 이제 나갈 때가 됐나?
I cannot leave now.
아직도 더 할 게 남았어? 그러네.
This door has not been forced. Where does it lead, Reverend?
To His Excellency's room. There is just a mattress and a stool.
수색할 권한이 없다고 말하는 것 치고는 순순히 다 대답을 해주는군요.
The bishop's bedroom. It is very austere. Nothing in particular here. The bishop's bed.
A surgical scalpel covered in blood. There isn't any doubt. The wounds on the bishop were administered with this scalpel.
Closed. The veranda door hasn't been forced. Strange. Reverend, might I have the key?
No! You have no authority here. Let me call the police.
Perhaps we should listen to him, Holmes.
Perhaps you should let me get on with this, Watson.
좀 재수없긴 하네.
Closed.
아, 그냥 걸어다녔으면 좋겠어. 얘 뛰는 포즈가 너무 이상해.
Closed. It's a silice.
이걸 가지고 얘를 찌르면 될까?
I am missing some information. Impossible.
이 템을 어떻게 쓰는 걸까? 일단 손 잘려나가는 거랑
The
맞는지
fingers
확인하는
have been.
아닌가 본데?
The finger.
이게 이 사람 손가락이 아닌 것 같은데?
The finger. The fingers. So, these wounds were not made by his murderers.
His stomach is...
So, these... Let us look at our deduction board, Watson.
뭐 더 찾을 게 있나? 내가 뭘 잘못 골랐나? 이렇게? 뭘 해야 되지?
I cannot leave.
뭘 해야 돼?
Closed.
뭘로 열어야 되지? 쇠막대기.
Closed.
캔물 가지고 뭘
The
해야 되는
bishop's
거야?
bed. Let us look at our deduction board, Watson.
상황 정리판? 아, 이제 이게 맞는 거야? 아하. 여긴 틀린 건가?
Let us look at our.
여기가 틀렸나 본데. 누군가가 다른 신발을 신고 갔고 주교의 신발이 사라졌다. 그러면은 한 명은 주교 신발을 신고 떠났다는 거 아닌가? 신발 장사를 한다? 이건 너무 아닌 것 같은데. 잘못 신고 가서 신발을 찾으러 돌아왔다. 뭔가 특정한 물건이 특정한 위치에 있다는 거를 알고 있었던 게 아닌가? 뭐지? 깨진 플라스크.
Let. Perfect.
아,
It is
이거군.
evident that the Bishop of Knightsbridge's killers were after something specific, and that they did not find it. Reverend, I shall ask you one more time. Open the chest. The item they were seeking must still be inside. It is unlikely that they will let this matter rest. They will most certainly return to finish what they started.
And I'm telling you once more, the chest is locked and shall remain so.
Very well. We have reached an impasse. You are a stubborn man, Reverend. Watson, accompany our friend to the police station and return with Inspector Baines. Baines
너도
and
밖에
no
나가
one else. I
있어야지.
shall wait for you
그
here.
사람이 경찰서 갔다 올 동안 뭐 할 줄 알고 얘를 여기다
Alone at
남겨두냐?
last. Now I can continue my investigation.
이 게임 너무 엉성한데 좀 아닌가? 담겨 있군.
This lock should be
아니네.
easy to pick.
혼자
Let's
있으니까
see.
딸 수 있는 거네 또.
I need
꼬챙이.
This lock should be easy to pick. Let's see.
뭔데?
That's not right.
아, 이 모양을 만들란 얘기야?
That's not right.
안 되는데요? 되네?
There we are. It is simplicity itself. There isn't anything much in this room. It must be used as a reading or meditation room. An ink stain, quite fresh. This stain is just on the edge of the rug. Let's see. There is nothing on the floor, yet the ink must have soaked through the rug. An ink stain.
위치가 바뀌었군.
This inkwell was tipped over recently. The ink stain on the floor comes from the ink on the rug, but they are not in the same place. Someone has moved the rug recently. Apparently, someone wanted to hide this statue. That is curious. There is something strange on the floor. Certain stones have been marked out, just like a chessboard.
체스보드처럼 뭔가 표시가 되어 있다.
That is curious. There is something strange on the floor. Certain stones have been marked out, just like a chessboard. I need something.
이놈인가?
I need some.
돌멩이?
That is curious. I need something.
뭐가 필요한 거지? 밧줄?
That is curious.
이건 왜 자막이
I
안
need
나오냐? 이씨.
something. This horse resembles a large chess piece. There is a message underneath this statue. Let's see.
체스에 쏟아부어라. 나이트가 다른 칸들을 모조리 지나친다. 마지막 지점에 도착하면 정답이란다.
This message was written by a woman, but for whom was it intended? Interesting, this chess game.
일로 가면 갈 수 있는 데가 없네.
That's not right. Start again.
이 머리 방향이 관계가 있나?
That's not right.
아씨. 아, 쉽지 않네. 아이씨, 할 데 없는데?
That's not right. That's not right. Start again.
젠장. 아, 이렇게 가도 갈 데가 없네.
That's not.
최대한 뺑뺑이를 돌면서 채워야 되나? 오, 이번 느낌 괜찮아. 뺑뺑이 돌리기. 나이스!
This last piece should be the good one. It will have to be pulled free. I need something.
뭘로 뜯어내? 주머니 칼? 나이스. 목사가 숨겨뒀던 편지. 우리 막내 아이의 생일. 얼마 안 있으면 애가 말을 할 것 같아요. 휴가를 받는다는 게 정말인가요? 우리 관계는 꼭 정당화시켜야 해요. 이대로 평생 죄인처럼 살 수는 없잖아요. 당신의 터지가 쉬운 게 아니라는 건 잘 알고 있어요. 아이들의 미래를 타협할 생각은 전혀 없어요. 합법적인 부부관계가 되어야 한다고요.
A packet of letters addressed to the Reverend.
사생아,
They were written by a
와우,
woman who
어쩐지
mentions his illegitimate
이상한
children.
새끼.
Their affair isn't official. Perfect. I have you now, my wayward Reverend. There is nothing on the...
뭐 더 할 게 있나?
Ah, Watson. You were gone a terribly long time, and Inspector Baines isn't with you.
I'm afraid not, Holmes. We were unable to find him.
Dr. Watson would not allow me to contact any inspector other than this Baines. What manners! I am a man of the church.
My dear Reverend, I notice that you are a chess lover. I trust you will excuse me, but I am never able to resist the appeal of a half-finished game.
You are an expert at chess. Very well then. What do you want now?
As you might have guessed, resolving your small chess problem has allowed me to discover some very interesting letters.
Letters? What do they say?
Reverend, why hide these letters here and run the risk of the bishop finding them?
Holmes, what's in the letters?
Not now, Watson.
Where else could I have hidden them? My own chambers are too austere. They could offer no cover. I knew, however, that His Excellency, may he rest in peace, would not notice my game.
The contents of the Bishop of Knightsbridge's chest interest me greatly. Give me the elements you hold, Reverend.
Out of the question.
멈춰볼까?
I am a gentleman, and it would distress me to be obliged to pass this correspondence across to your superiors.
Holmes, I know that the end justifies the means, but allow me to express some reservations about how you are proceeding.
You say you're a gentleman, but I hear nothing but the words of a blackmailer. The stems that you are looking for are scattered about this room. Manage by yourself.
어쨌든 허락해 주셨군요. 더 있나? 없음 말고.
Impossible to...
어디다가 놔야 될까? 정말 군데군데 숨겨놓았군. 끝?
These traces reveal that the thieves tried to open this chest.
그래서 어디다가 놔야 되는 거야?
Impossible to open.
뭘 기준으로 해서 옮기는 거나 새로 놓는 게 되는 거지? 아, 한 줄에 하나씩 들어가게? 뭔가 체스처럼 막 이렇게 대각선이나 이런 것도 안 되는 것 같은데. 이렇게 직선이나 대각선으로 이동 가능하면은 원래 있던 애가 옮겨가고, 나이트 그거 옮기듯이 요렇게 진행하면 새 걸 놓을 수가 있고. 그러면 얘가 옮겨가겠지. 얘를 어디다가 놓을 수 있을까? 아, 이런 데다가 놓으면서 얘를, 아씨. 아씨, 어렵다. 아! 아, 어려워. 연장. 아우. 어, 아씨. 그만하네. 어는 뭐가 어야, 이씨. 아, 열받아.
Impossible. impossible to open it.
What? 기껏 났는데. 뭘 찾았나?
What should we do next, Holmes?
이런 씨.
You have no right to search here.
There is blood.
못이나 내놔. 어우 춥다. 창문 닫고 옵니다. 추워. 못을 내놔라.
I cannot leave now.
방 안에는 더 없나? 아, 있다.
You have won.
Evidently, as I always do. What are you able to tell us about the Bishop of Knightsbridge's last days? Did anyone come to visit him? Did he seem worried, anxious? Do not omit the smallest detail.
His nephew came to see him yesterday at His Excellency's request. I found this visit a little peculiar because the young man rarely visits his uncle.
Do you know why that might be? Were they on bad terms?
I don't think so. It's rather a consequence of his work. The young man is employed within the archives section of the Royal Library, which doesn't leave him with a lot of free time.
Do you know the reason for his summons?
No, but the conversation was very heated. It only lasted for a few minutes and ended with the nephew in a terrible rage.
Interesting.
I've answered your questions. Will you now let me contact the authorities?
I'm afraid not, Reverend. Not just yet. All right, now we can open the safe.
아, 뭔가 금고를 열어야지 이렇게 딱 추리가 완성이 되나 보다. 맞아, 아까 살인범 한 명은 주교의 신발을 신고 떠났다. 살인범들은 가난하다. 가난해서 뭐 누군가에 고용당해가지고 살인까지 저질렀다. 뭐 이런 건가? 뭐 아무튼 일단 금고부터 열어보겠습니다. 어허이. 에헤이. 쉽지 않네. 음, 음. 아, 야, 뭐 어떻게 했지? 대충 적당히 이렇게 움직여가면서 이걸 배치를 좀 해줘야 되나? 예. 아우. 그치, 결국은 한 줄에 일단 하나씩밖에 안 들어가기는 해. 아, 약간, 아이씨. 음. 아이. 이러면 안 되잖아. 아, 아이 너무 얘가 여기 있으면 너무 걸리는 게 대각선도 다 걸리니까 안 되는 게 너무 많은데? 아닌가?
These traits.
아, 넘기기는 또 자존심이 상하지. 이거 도전과제 뭐 있어? 그럴 때 왜 안 돼? 지금 새끼야. 도전과제 목록에 금고털이범이라는 게 있는 걸로 봐서는 이거를 직접 풀어야 돼. 이것만 풀면은 오늘 딱 자러 갈 시간 되겠는데. 여기 안 되고, 여기 안 되고, 여기 안 되고, 여기 안 되고, 여기 안 되고. 안 되고, 여기는 돼. 요 중에 되는 칸이 없네. 아우. 지금 남는 열이 여기인데, 여기다가 넣어도 되는 애들. 얘를 빼고, 잠깐. 그렇게 하면 또 안 되잖아. 아, 이거 하나를 어떻게 바꿔야 될까? 아우, 열받아. 어우,
Now I can
No,
open the
드디어.
chest.
호호.
Here we
송곳
are.
털입어
I am
목적
eager to
땄습니다.
discover what remarkable treasure could justify such an act of barbarity.
Extraordinary.
This chest is impenetrable. How is it possible? No one other than the bishop should be able to open it.
You open the chest with disconcerting
그러진
ease,
않았어.
Holmes.
I've seen and heard quite enough. This time you won't stop me.
Catch him, Watson.
What the? But why?
Run, Watson. Hurry.
말이 많아.
He's escaped. I hope that your motivations are founded, Holmes. I don't much like skirting around the edges of the law like this.
It is annoying. Let's leave without delay.
What have you found in the chest, Holmes? What in there is so precious for these men to commit such terrible acts?
The Reverend was telling the truth. Nothing important was locked inside the chest, apart from a few religious items which are hardly worth stealing.
So, we haven't made any headway. Perhaps the police will.
By the time the police arrive, we shall be a long way from here, Watson. We are leaving.
뭔데? 이게 좀 나은 것 같기도. 어쨌든 지금은 도망칠 때인가?
We have crossed London at a breakneck speed. We could have knocked someone over, and naturally I had to pay the cabbie out of my own pocket.
Watson, stop complaining. We have to analyze the clues found at the bishop's house. No, it is
Oh,
I can see something. Tooth marks, rather deep ones. I'd say of incisors and a canine. Fragments of skin, a phalanx. This finger wasn't cut off, it was ripped off. Tooth marks, fragments of black and damp earth under the nail. Interesting. I can see something.
Bite marks on this severed finger. I am afraid of the significance.
The thieves didn't get what they wanted. When they were faced with the bishop's refusal to cooperate, one of the gang shook his finger at him to
범인을
indicate that he
물어뜯은 거야?
was responsible for his unfortunate state.
And the poor man, whose head was the only part of him not bound by ropes, bit the finger violently enough to sever it. An uncommonly savage act.
Watson, I am certain that when we have explained the reasons behind this sudden bestiality, we will have revealed a larger part of the mystery. There is something written on this scalpel. I should clean it. I can't do that. I haven't finished my analysis.
아니 뭐야?
I can't do that.
아하.
I can make out WCCH. What do the initials stand for? How many hospitals are there in the Whitechapel area, Watson?
If we count public dispensaries, enough to keep us busy for an entire month. Did this scalpel come from a hospital?
Yes, as the initials WCCH engraved upon it show us. We must think on how best to deal with this. We do not have the time to investigate every hospital in Whitechapel.
WCCH면은 뭐 화이트 채플, 뭐 체리티 호스피털 이 정도 나올 것 같은데.
I have cut a small piece off the rope. That should be enough.
범인들 가난하다 그랬으니까 다선 그런 병원에서 훔쳐왔을 수도 있고.
This rope is only worn on one side. A lot of fragments of black stone are wedged into this rope. Their color seems unnatural, but they are too small for me to examine them. I can't do that. I can't do that. I haven't finished.
아, 이거 조작 너무 불편하네.
I can't do that. Black and damp earth. I must compare the samples of earth that I found. I must compare the samples of earth that I found. And if I mixed this earth with another substance, I can't do that.
그렇군요.
Now it must all be stirred. The samples of earth taken from beneath the fingernail and from the ropes originate from the same place.
How do you know?
It took just a little water to analyze the consistency. The soil has retained its moisture, even though there hasn't been rain in London for over a week.
This soil could come from the bank of a river, or somewhere where the evaporation is slower. A mine, perhaps, or a trench.
The banks of the Thames are clay soil, unlike our samples, so we can rule that out. The nearest mines are 12 miles away, so I would rule that out also. I would therefore conclude your last theory to be nearer the mark.
A trench?
A pit. This fragment of stone is very smooth, and it seems to be of a peculiar quality. I shall have to strip it with one of my products. I can't do that. I can't do that.
아, 수로?
I haven't finished.
아, 아니 마우스 때문인가 마우스 자꾸 더블 클릭되니까.
This stone appears to be the same as those found within the rope's fibers. This stone is granite covered in black paint. The fragments found in the rope and this piece of granite come from the same place. Watson, bring me your register of the London hospitals.
Studying the scalpel has given you an idea, then?
Indeed.
I'll get it. The work table.
뭐 해야 되는지. 아. 아. 이 새끼 왜 자꾸 난리야?
Read the paper, Holmes.
병원 목록을 어디서 찾노? 여기서도 서재 찾는 그게 있구나.
And this is how my dear friend and colleague treats his clients' letters. Female anatomy. Hospitals and dispensaries in London. I have found my book, Holmes.
Good. Put it on the work table, will you?
General practice. The harpoon that was
Oh.
used to kill Black Peter. A horrible murder.
여기가 전작에서 홈즈 방이었는데, 오 변장대 여기도 있네.
I have found my book.
Good.
Here is the section showing Whitechapel. I made several notations on these pages during our
아, 이거
investigation
전에가
into the
또
Ripper, which might
책더리퍼였는데
prove
또
useful.
쭉
All
뭔가
we
쭉
need to do is to find a
이어지는 건가?
hospital or a public dispensary
어.
near a location where pits have been dug and black granite has been used.
It's simplicity itself. I haven't finished my analysis. I need...
오. 밧줄은 한쪽 면만 달아있다. 항상 같은 쪽으로만 사용되었다. 주교의 살인범들이 남기고 간 축축한 흙덩어리, 흙은 구덩이에서 나온 것이다. 밧줄은 무언가를 구덩이 밑으로 내려보내는 데 쓰였다. 아닐 수도 있지만 아무튼 검은색으로 칠해진 화강암 조각. 검게 칠해진 화강암 벽에서 떨어진 것이다. 기석 근처 구덩이. 무덤. 묘비공장? 우물? 아닌 것 같아.
I am missing some information. I haven't finished. I need...
검은색으로 칠해진 화강암 조각. 색칠된 돌. 검게 칠해진
Now I
기석.
can make the right decision.
추모비?
That's not right.
아니야? 공동묘지?
The public dispensary number 4661. It's just opposite the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
Yes, Watson. The murderer with the missing finger must work in the cemetery, or at least visit it. He could have taken a rope, one of the type they use to lower the coffins into the graves. The granite is minute particles of tombstone.
And he only had to cross the road to steal a scalpel from the dispensary opposite.
We must analyze all our clues, Watson.
못 가는데?
We must analyze... I need something.
뭐. 뭘 해야 돼? 지금은 여기가 왓슨의 방인가? 뭐지? 뭐 해야 되지? 나가야 되나?
I cannot leave.
아닌데. 뭘 하란 얘기야?
I need... I can analyze the chemical composition of a substance here.
돌? 몸에 돌?
No, it is unnecessary.
뭘 분석을 해야 되지? 진흙?
I can analyze the chemical composition of a substance here.
하면 되는 거 아니야? 왜 안 하지? 아하. 뭘 해야 되는 거야? 아, 이 퍼즐은 또 뭐지? 아,
I
사용하기.
must analyze the...
방금 잠깐만. 주황 하나, 초록 둘, 파랑 하나. 주황색, 하양 불. 하양색, 주황 불. 초록 불, 파랑 하나. 초록색, 주황색.
poison, and apparently very virulent.
광기에 가까운 공격성을 유발, 심장 발작으로 인한 사망.
Poison. Discreet, efficient, and only detectable via a thorough post-mortem.
Have you been able to isolate the active components, Holmes?
Not with any certainty. This toxic substance surpasses my own knowledge in the field. It is without doubt the work of an expert chemist.
A chemist and a criminal.
As you say, please find my monograph on poisoners of the last 30 years.
Female anatomy. General practice.
이건 또 뭐야? 오? 독살 미수, 화학물질 반입, 화학약품. 우수한 화학자이자 뛰어난 수학자.
According to these documents, Hans Schielman, known as the Rat Killer, was considered the greatest specialist in chemical poison in the world.
Is he at liberty?
Happily, no. He has been held in the high-security wing of London's Westgate prison for many years now.
Then he cannot be the one who concocted the poison.
Don't dismiss him too quickly, Watson. According to Scotland Yard, the man is exceptionally intelligent. For the greatest criminals, prison is but a mere obstacle. Let's plan a little visit to see Mr. Shielman tomorrow.
오늘은 여기까지 하고 마무리를 해야 될 것 같습니다. 벌써 11시가 되었기 때문이죠. 2시간 했네 그래도. 아씨 많이 했네. 아 자동 저장도 되네? 그럼 됐어. 바이바이.